Order in the court. This pig stands accused of heinous crimes.
What if I told you that in medieval France, an animal was arrested for murder, thrown into a human jail cell, given its own defense lawyer, found guilty in a court of law, and then publicly executed by hanging? And what if I told you that when they executed it, they dressed it in a full suit of human clothes, including pants and little white gloves? This sounds completely insane, like something out of a twisted cartoon. But it is 100% real. This is the story of the Pig of Falaise, perhaps the weirdest true crime case in human history. And it reveals a time when the world operated by rules that seem totally alien to us today. Let's travel back to the year 1386, to the town of Falaise in the Normandy region of France. The Middle Ages were tough. Forget the shiny knights and grand castles you see in the movies. For the average person, daily life was dirty, dangerous, and very, very smelly. There was no modern sanitation. Garbage, food scraps, and human waste were often thrown right into the streets. And in these streets, animals were everywhere. Livestock wasn't neatly kept on farms outside of town. Cows, chickens, and especially pigs roamed freely. Pigs were actually essential to medieval city life. They were the garbage disposals of the era, eating the refuse that littered the muddy roads. This coexistence was necessary, but it created a serious hazard. Animals and humans were constantly sharing the same space. One day, a tragedy struck. An infant, barely 3 months old, named Jean Lameau, was left briefly unattended in his cradle. A large sow, a female pig, wandered nearby. What happened next was a nightmare. The pig attacked the baby, viciously mauling his face and arm. The infant's cries alerted the parents, and they rushed back, but it was too late. Baby Jean died from his injuries. It's a horrific event. In the modern world, if this happened, the animal would be seized and destroyed immediately. The owner might face some negligence charges. Case closed. But this is 1386. The authorities, led by the town official Regnault Rigaud, didn't just see a tragic accident. They saw a crime. They saw murder. So what did they do? They issued an arrest warrant for the pig. I am not exaggerating. They tracked down the specific pig responsible, arrested it, and threw it into the town dungeon. This wasn't a pen at the local farm or the pound. This was the actual jail, a cold, dark stone cell where human thieves and murderers were kept. For 9 days, the pig sat in jail. Records show that the town actually paid a jailer to feed the pig while it awaited its day in court. The pig was officially a prisoner on the public payroll. This wasn't seen as absurd. It was seen as proper legal procedure. To understand why this happened, you have to try and get inside the medieval mindset. Today, we understand animals act on instinct. They don't have a moral compass. But in the Middle Ages, the belief, supported by both the government and the church, was very different. They genuinely believed that animals had a degree of moral understanding and could choose to do wrong. Furthermore, it was widely thought that animals could be influenced, or even possessed, by the devil. A pig that killed a baptized child wasn't just acting on animal instinct. It was potentially acting as an agent of Satan himself. The trial began in the town hall. It was not a joke or a mock trial. It was a deadly serious legal proceeding. Regnault Rigaud acted as the judge. Prosecutors presented the case against the pig. Witnesses were called to testify about the horrific nature of the attack. The evidence was laid out, and the pig, as the defendant, was present in the courtroom. Incredibly, the pig was assigned a defense attorney, paid for by the public purse. Imagine being that lawyer. Your client can't speak, can't understand the charges, and is in fact a pig. We don't know what the defense argued. Perhaps they argued it was mistaken identity, that they had the wrong pig. Whatever the defense strategy, it failed. The evidence was overwhelming. The verdict was delivered, guilty of murder. The sentence, death by hanging. A huge crowd gathered in the public square. The gallows were erected. The executioner was waiting. And this is where the details reach peak absurdity. The execution was expensive. We know from the financial records that the executioner was paid 10 sous and 10 deniers, the exact same fee as if he had executed a human criminal. But wait, there's one final detail that might be the craziest part of the whole story. The judge ordered all the farmers from the surrounding countryside to bring their own pigs to witness the hanging. Seriously. The authorities genuinely believed that the other pigs, witnessing the fate of their criminal counterpart, would be taught a lesson. They thought it would scare the pigs straight and prevent future violence. While the Falaise pig is the most famous case, it was far from unique. One of the most famous cases happened in Autumn, France, in 1522. A lawyer named Bartholomew Chassenet made his entire career by defending a group of rats accused of destroying the local barley crop. The rats were summoned to court. When they obviously didn't show up, Chassenet argued brilliantly that his clients, who were spread all over the region, had not been properly notified individually. The practice of animal trials only began to decline during the Enlightenment, the age of reason in the 1700s. Philosophers began to argue that animals lacked the ability to reason and did not possess souls. They were viewed more like biological machines, incapable of moral choice, and therefore incapable of criminal intent. If an animal can't choose to do evil, it can't be guilty of a crime.